Last thing I said, you're going back up.
Oh, you mean the CPI?
Yeah. That'll affect our overall.
It all depends on if we get some inflation or not.
You anticipate that?
We used to.
It's a weird economy.
That's why this economist, we did a meeting at tomorrow, and his comment was, yesterday was gold and everything else is going down, and that's not super cheap.
Yeah, and their dollar's backed on the gold. That's what they say.
When we start to cycle out, 3-4 months, put us in.
It is now 4 o'clock, and I'd like to call this meeting of the Ways and Means Committee to order. And Lisa, would you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Cross?
Here.
Commissioner Engel?
Here.
Commissioner Hughes? Here. Commissioner Mahoney?
Here.
Commissioner Nash?
Here.
Commissioner Sabo?
Excused.
Commissioner Skolnick?
Excused.
Commissioner Wilkins? Here. Commissioner Dersinski?
Here. And is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 21st?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Hughes, supported by Mr. Cross. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. I've been criticized for talking too low. If you can't hear me in the back, would somebody throw some at me? Okay, good. Okay. You know, I used to teach 6th grade. You'd think I'd project very well. Okay. Is there any public comment on an agenda item today? Seeing none, we'll move on to a presentation. Mr. Mahoney, would you do us the honors?
Yes. Cutler family would come to the podium. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing Mr. Cutler with us. In tribute and recognition of Robert Cutler, whereas Muskegon County lost a great man who was devoted to his family and the Muskegon community on Tuesday, January 22nd, 2013, when it lost Robert Bob Cutler, and whereas Bob lived and worked in the Muskegon community for most of his 58 years, and whereas Bob was a graduate of East Puffer High School and Northern Michigan University, and was co-owner of the Muskegon Brake and Tire and Lakeside Service Center, whereas Bob was a past chairman of the Muskegon Area Chamber of Commerce and was a board member of the Muskegon West Michigan Employers Association, Waypoint Academy and the Hot Rod Power Tour, and whereas Bob was an active supporter of Summer Celebration and a volunteer of United Way of Lakeshore and a member of the Muskegon Rotary Club, and he had incredible love for his family and was genuinely proud of his children and grandchildren. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners wishes to present this tribute to the family of Bob Cutler in recognition and dedication to his community, and give thanks to his family for allowing him to be such an active and devoted community supporter of Muskegon.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. Mahoney. I got to know Bob very well on the Power Tour, and he was a big cog in making that happen. Items for consideration, WM 13/04-29, approve the accounts payable.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Cross, seconded by Mr. Mahoney. Any discussion? Ms. Hughes, I saw your email. You had a couple.
I did have a couple questions, and they were very efficiently answered by Heath and everybody in the departments. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
You know, I appreciate that coming to this meeting. I know there's going to be some questions. I do read your emails, and I think that's great practice. Okay, all those in favor, wait a minute, no, yeah, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carried. WM 1304-30, accept funding from the Michigan State Police. Oh, I didn't finish. Moved by Mr. Cross, seconded by Mrs. Wilkins. Was that? Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carried. WM 1304-31, approve a resolution establishing the 2013 equalized valuation for Muskegon County.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Mahoney,
Support.
supported by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's kind of neat. That's if I may, when I was a business manager, I looked for that document, and it surely is coming out a lot more timely and with fewer what's the word I want? Corrections later on. And most anybody who works in that area appreciates that. So isn't it about a month early for this? No, this is the regular time? Okay. Okay, thank you. WM 1304-31, 32. Approve the implementation of funding transfers with the prosecutor's office. Moved by Mr. Cross, supported by Mrs. Wilkins. Any discussion? Yes.
I have one thing. I wondered if maybe in the motion it should include any changes, or the price changes. It doesn't look like it's negative, isn't it? Just a neutral.
It's $12.
$12. I mean, do we need to include that in there or not? For
I
$12?
read that, but I mean.
No, it's just, no, we don't. It doesn't.
Sometimes they want the amounts in there.
Well, thanks for the savings.
Yes. It won't buy coffee, but we appreciate it anyway.
Yes, Mr. Nash.
I was just wondering, since we do have the prosecutor down here, if he would just kind of give us something for the record, just to explain what's going on with the changes.
Please identify yourself.
Absolutely. DJ Hilson, Muskegon County Prosecutor. Just so you're aware, the state of Michigan funds part of our staff through the DHS grants, and we have to, as a result of that, essentially make sure that the prosecutors that they're funding actually work in the family court. And that's what this motion is all about, is that we're making sure that the personnel that does our family court work are the ones that are being earmarked for these funds. Part of the problem, part of the change is because the guy that used to do a lot of it, 100% of it, Tim Mott, is now my chief assistant. So we had to maneuver people around and switch people. So that's what you see in this motion. We're just making sure that those folks that are actually, because they have to keep time records, and so it's important that the folks that are keeping the time records are actually doing it. So that's what this motion is all about.
And you have some new top staff that's changing. Do we need to?
This has nothing to do with the change in the staff.
Okay.
I understand the question. Yes, we've had some retirements, which has decreased the salary steps essentially in the office. Because of that, people are starting at lower levels as opposed to us paying for those that had topped out essentially at their salary range. And so that has changed. And so, there is some salary savings for the next fiscal year, and hopefully a few years beyond that the county will realize.
Okay. It'd be nice to meet some when you get your hierarchy arranged.
Sure.
Okay.
I could trade them all down here, Commissioner.
No. So we would know who they are.
Absolutely.
We got used to, I did, because time to time we have questions. And I know you've been very involved with this document.
Yes, sir.
And I sure appreciate that. I mean, we got an opportunity to make some quantum leaps in that area, and that coordination is, to me, very, very important. It's about time we did it.
Well, I appreciate the comments, and I know that the group has worked very hard to try to make it a workable system. I can introduce Lynn Muhlenberg is my new office manager. She takes over where Wendy Archer used to be, so she's been handling those duties, and she and I both have been diving into this budget process for the first time. It's first go-arounds have been quite interesting.
And the lady at the desk, when you try and get through that door, wouldn't be her?
No. She runs, she oversees all the secretarial staff. She keeps me in line, keeps me going in the right direction, and is my numbers guru.
Okay.
So, one of these days I will bring Tim Mott down. He's the chief assistant. He's been in the building now for about 15 years and is currently, was head of the family division, and now is basically my second in command.
I hope that turns to be a worthwhile request, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. Okay, WM 1304-33, authorize the purchase of the property known as 8434 Minor Park and authorize the chairman to execute the purchase agreement and other necessary documents.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Cross, seconded by Mr. Mahoney. Any discussion? Mr. Nash?
I just had a question on this, the trust issue. Are we gonna, is that already been cleared through title already too?
Mr. Warner, please.
John Warner, Public Works Department. Yes, sir, the title work has already been done on this property, and everything's in order.
That was my only concern, because I didn't want us to run into some issues later on.
I appreciate that, and yeah, we are always on top of that. We try and have all that ready before we get on board to make sure there will be no snags.
John, may I ask, you increased the amount of handicap parking or camping areas out there at one time, didn't you, just recently?
Minor?
Yes.
No, they've been the same way since we purchased it.
Okay, is there any plans for more? I know somebody that makes a difference if they can camp or not.
Not right at the moment, but that's in our long-range plan, yes.
Are they usually full?
No. I wish they were, but no. We still have sites open at Minor most weekends.
For the handicap parking, if nobody handicap comes in, do we let other people use those? None?
Typically, yes. At both Minor and Pioneer, the handicapped are the last sites that get given away.
Okay.
Unless somebody handicapped comes in and wants them, we try and reserve them back till the very end, just in case somebody does want them.
That's huge, I think. Thank you.
Is this perk with the boat ramp?
No, Minor Park is not a boat ramp. It's got a half mile of Lake Michigan beach line though.
Okay, any other discussion?
I was just wondering, what are we gonna do with this as we purchase it? What's the plan?
Ultimately, what the plan is, down the road, we would like to be able to pick up the Johnson's Trailer Court, which will be the only other piece of property from this on that we don't own, to the beach. And then on this particular piece of property, we'd like to locate a park office and then have the road from that point abandoned and make the whole thing park out beyond that. It's a long-term goal, but you do it a little piece of time as you get the opportunities.
You need a summer caretaker?
You volunteering?
Thank you. Okay, any other discussion?
In retirement plans?
Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, the motion carried. WM 1304-34, authorize Parks to contact the Mesquite County Road Commission to accomplish the paving and shoulder work items authorized. Thank you. Oh, I thought I heard a motion.
So moved.
Okay. Okay, moved by Mrs. Hughes, support by Mrs. Rosenstein. I did hear something.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. Is there any old business? Any old business?
Was
Any new
it
business?
just me, or was
What?
it two of those minor parks in here?
Yeah, there's one that's requesting appraisal.
I think that was.
Did I miss it?
That was, has already been approved.
Was
Put
it?
it in here just to show.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, that was just for documentation. Okay, I was wondering, like, why is that? Okay.
I know I should have stamped it or something.
Okay. It threw me
That's,
off.
it did not confusing.
All right.
Any old business? Is there any new business?
Mr. Chair.
Yes. Mrs.
As Chair of Transportation and in conjunction with Mrs. Skolnick, I would like to make a motion to cancel both Transportation Committee and Community Development Strategic Planning scheduled for Thursday, April 18th due to a lack of action items.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nash. We still have the juvenile
Yes.
at 2 o'clock. Is it 2?
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
Okay. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you. And is there any public comment on a new topic? Okay, I see none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Before we do that, Mr. Stout, did you have something you wanted to bring to the board or not? He was here early. He
Oh, I
thought we
didn't
were
see
at 3:30. I just didn't want to miss him if he had something.
Oh, I didn't see it
He
back
felt-
there.
I was turned sideways, you couldn't see me. Dan Stout from the Sheriff's Department of Emergency Services. The only reason I showed up is I thought there was a question about maybe the audit that was upcoming, so that's why I was sitting out here. So if there's any questions about it, I know I talked with Mr. Williams when I got back from vacation, so if there's any questions, I'll answer them the best I can.
I think I brought up that question.
Yes, Mr. Stout, will you bring us up to date on the conflict of interest policy and where we stand on that and what's going on?
Well, right now, we've sent a letter, I say we, the West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission, along with myself and the other executive members of the 13 counties, stating that we're not liable at all for this under what's going on right now. The state of Michigan has based their entire audit under 44 Code of the Federal Regulations of the CFR Part 13.36B3, and it talks about grantees and sub-grantees and their agents. The grantee is the state of Michigan. The sub-grantee is our fiduciary, which is West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission. What we are contending is this audit is not valid because there's nobody that works for WMSRDC or West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission that is in question in this. And then also, the other thing I want to point out is that we, Muskegon County, are a political subdivision. No political subdivision has been named in this audit whatsoever. So what they've done is named individuals, but the individuals, what we are contending, do not fit under this section 44. So we'll see how that comes out.
Yes. Mr. Scott, can you clear up the point where the Michigan State Police approved these activities and now they're coming back and Homeland Security approved them and they're saying that we're in violation?
Well, that's one of the contentions that we're having. Now, I was unable to make this last meeting that they had, but that was brought up, says, if we're at fault, you're at fault. And they're saying, and I'm getting the second hand, of course, and I'm not an attorney, but they're saying, no, we're not at fault. It's everything is, comes down to the Region 13, Region 6 in our 13 counties. And so it's going to be months before this is played out. But again, I want to emphasize at this time, Muskegon County is, they're part of the region, but they're not part of the problem.
Thank you very much.
And Dan, I know you had questioned some of those activities as chairman at that. What makes it even more confusing is that region is different than the WMSRDC. There's other municipalities that aren't included, and so it's even more complicated. But I know you kept our nose clean and appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Yes?
One other thing I'd like to say, and I spoke to Mr. Stout on the way in, within the light of the things that just happened over at Boston, he assured me that, well, we have a really good emergency preparedness, and he is on top of that before any of our festivals or anything. I just wanted to let you know that. That makes me feel a lot better, and I really appreciate that.
Well, I contacted all the chiefs of police, of course, yesterday, and I was in contact with the Michigan State Police to see if there was anything that would affect the state, well, or would affect Muskegon County, but I would try to keep our law enforcement up to snuff on what's going on, and you know, waiting to hear, you know, if anything that we can do to make it to protect us more. Probably even more pending right now, is I've got some information that you know, Muskegon River right now, they've got a problem with the dam there, so that's something we'll have to work on in the next couple of days.
Yes, Mr. Nash?
Well, along that lines, you know, as much as everyone as citizens need protection, you know, I'm hearing also about this not new, but you have a huge law enforcement conference coming up, and just wondering, is that a place where law enforcement gets lax, or do they set some strict precautions for themselves? That's, you know,
Yes,
as we look at things these days, you know, anybody could be thinking of something as a great target, and we'd hate to see something tragic happen in a large law enforcement conference.
They take a lot of measures, trust me, they do, to look at it. I mean, they've got the bomb dogs there, you know, they're looking at people, you know, you have to show your identification, you know, official identification. So, I mean, there's a lot of safeguards. They have a lot of armed personnel there. In fact, almost everybody there is armed. So, I mean, it's, but, you know, if somebody wants to do harm, and, it's tough to fight somebody that doesn't care about themselves if they get hurt or not. But, you know, you can only do as best you can with what you got. And you just got to keep on planning and hope that you're doing the best for everybody.
Well, thank you, Mr. Stout.
Okay?
Any other discussion? Is there a motion to adjourn? We have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I should get some more information. We got a lot of that live in that area, and then across the road.